Hello and welcome. I'm Anna Rose with Beehive Quilt Shop, and we're here in Wellington, Kansas. We are a quilt shop toy store, and we sell online, and we have a brick and mortar. Plus, we have a retreat house here in town, and so we just have a lot of fun. We've been open for about 6 years, and we are also, I'm a certified Laura Heine instructor, and so I've had this idea to do a video for a while because I don't know if anybody else has done this. But a lot of times we teach a lot of classes for beginning collage people. And a lot of times we like to start with what is called the teeny tiny collection of patterns. And there's a whole variety of patterns to choose from. We keep them virtually all in stock most all the time. And when I go travel and teach at a quilt guild, or when I'm teaching here in our store or at a retreat, I always enjoy the size of this project, and it's really fun to work with. And so I just wanted to give you a tour, kind of for selfish purposes, of what are all the teeny tiny patterns that are out there, and kind of some tricks about some of the each different ones of them. So we have, I don't have a producer here with me, so I'm not sure entirely what you're going to see on the screen, but it'll be good stuff. So this is a teeny tiny pattern. I took it out of the plastic so it won't have any glare on it, but Laura Heine is a collage applique artist, and she has a whole series of patterns that are called teeny tinies. Now the teeny tinies are all 16 by 20 inch collages is what they're most all of them are designed to be. However, she also gives the instruction in her patterns of how to enlarge them so that they're fit for an art canvas. So the most popular art canvas that we work with is one that's also 16 by 20. And so if you're going to accommodate a 16 by 20 art collage, you want your fabric collage piece to be at least 19 by 20 so that you have enough after it's quilted to wrap onto that canvas. And we have a couple videos of how to do that process that are also on our YouTube channel. But the most important thing is to start collaging is you have to choose a pattern. So there's several things to look for when you're looking to decide what type of teeny tiny collage pattern you want to find. But all of them are, it's just for the joy of collaging. So a lot of it is going to be, it's whatever is you're more interested in is going to be the better collage for you to start off with. I know a lot of times when people are choosing a collage, like they usually have something that they really want to do to begin with. And so sometimes people are more afraid to do the thing they're most excited about at the beginning. I think it's fine if you're the most excited to do the elephant, then you should do the elephant as your first collage, because you can always make a second elephant if your first elephant isn't your most favorite. So don't get too caught up in deciding not to do something you're the most excited about because you're afraid of, not doing it well. Just be prepared to make another one, because making these teeny tiny art collages are so fun that you're probably going to make multiples. So again, I'm just going to give you a tour of her teeny tiny collections as of how many we have in now, which is May of 2024. So this is teeny tiny group 1. This was her first collection she came out with. Each of her teeny tiny collections, you get multiple patterns. So most of them you get 3. There's a couple you have 2 of, but this one has what I call the girl, the fish, which I believe is a trout, and the elephant. So teeny tiny group 1 has those 3 items on there. The back of the pattern does give you information as far as what they're designed to be. She has general instructions inside her pattern. She has some of that technique stuff written on there. Of course, it's always fun if you take a class, just because you get to meet other people, but she does have the technique of how she does her collage applique in here. As a certified instructor, she taught us in person, so we were able to learn her preferred techniques at that time, which was great. And she gives you your basic instructions of what you need to do a collage, which we have a separate video on. But she says, a good selection of scraps for backgrounds and cuttables and underlays. Now, as she goes on in her other patterns, she gives you a little bit more detail, but I can tell you from what we do in our shop, based off of what Laura Heine taught us, is most all of our teeny tiny collages have a minimum of 40 different fabrics in them. And that's because, to me, when you're collaging, you want to have a great variety of fabric, and to me that's a good quantity as a real point. Now most of ours actually have probably closer to 50, and that's a design preference for me as when we're making these projects, because I want you to have choices, and then you'll have leftovers, but then it's just like any creative project. So anyway, you use Patternese, which we talk about in a separate video. Steam 2, the 12-inch wide is my preferred thickness. And fusible. She says a Sharpie or a medium ballpoint pen or number 2 pencil. For me, I don't like that Sharpie bleeds, so I almost always use number 2 pencils in our collages. And then definitely you want the Karen K. Buckley blue handled medium scissors for their micro serrated, a small rotary cutter, and backing fabric and binding. But anyway, those are just some of the things. So I'm going to give you just a synopsis more about what these patterns are, but every one of these teeny tiny collage patterns requires the same kind of initial supplies to have at the beginning. So again, we've got the girl, the fish, the elephant, all really great. Now I can tell you here that she is super universal because we don't just use her as the girl, we use her as the Christmas girl. She's our foundation for the witch. You can definitely make her into calendar girls, and she's a fun practice to do. Maybe I'll keep these in plastic and hopefully it doesn't glare too much. But anyway, this is the teeny tiny group number 2. So if you're ever looking for these, I just would type in group and then the pound sign, this hash mark, and then you can kind of see more of the varieties on our website. But this is the fox. We have the mini Abilene, the cow, and the old blue truck. So this blue truck and the cow and the fox, these are all related to larger collage patterns that she has, but she's perfectly scaled them to fit as this teeny tiny pattern. The cow's really fun because then you can practice doing the strip technique as you would on the big Abilene cow. I'll show you here later, but I have a unicorn cow, I call it, because I made a cow out of the leftovers from one of the unicorns. So that is a great pattern. This group number 3 is also one of our best sellers here at Beehive Quilt Shop in Wellington. The flamingo, I'm just going to take these out of the pattern. Why not? I'm just too worried about the glare. So anyway, we have this flamingo is one of the most popular ones. And then my parents actually did the bear together when I got back from being certified. And then this camper is also just really popular. Laura Heine herself has a camper that looks a lot like that. And I don't remember the camper's name, but she probably tells us in here. But all of these collages, most of them all had low volume background fabrics. And so we have kits for the pink flamingo, and it's a lot of fun. We've kitted it several times, but we also have kind of a generic kit for a low volume background for teeny tinies on our website, because sometimes people have plenty of the color and they don't, like, it's not hard to curate your own group of pinks, but having your own fun low volumes, not everybody has a great collection of those. And I forgot to tell you here, we have kits for the teeny tiny Abilene, and we have kits for the Christmas truck, a Halloween truck, and we are rekitting the teeny tiny blue truck as well. Teeny tiny group number 4. This one is her first nautical collection. Again, these are all related to patterns that she does have larger versions of. As a pattern artist, though, there's specific instructions on any of her paper patterns that you can't increase the scale, change, or share the pattern, and that's because she is the artist. So when you buy her pattern, you're buying her blueprint for these collages, and so it's the most respectful thing to do for an artist is to never copy or share this pattern, and have your friend buy her own copy because it's important to have that. We have kits for the octopus. I love the octopus. Mine is on a canvas, and it's a lot of fun. The mermaid in the bottle is pretty popular, and the sea turtle. Currently, right now, we just have a kit for the teeny tiny octopus, but this kit is still a great foundation if you were to do the sea turtle or the mermaid. And so that's another thing that I like is because most of these are themed collections, if you do have a kit and you have leftover pieces, chances are if you like an octopus, you're probably going to like a sea turtle or know someone who is. And so then you already have a great foundation for your background pieces and other fun cuttables that you'll get out of a kit, which is pretty great. So that was teeny tiny group number 4. Teeny tiny group number 5. This one I should check to see if group number 1 or group number 5 is the most popular, but I think this one's the winner. This one is group number 5. It has the pin cushion, the dress form, and the sewing machine. And it has been one of our most popular ones. We've had kits for both of these too. We've rekitted the little teeny tiny featherweight 3 times. And the mini pin cushion, I just love this pin cushion. Now Laura has, I think, at least 2, if not 3 of the larger pin cushions as separate patterns. But this one is just a really fun scale. I think making a collection of all 3 of these in your sewing room would be a great way to decorate. I love our pincushion kit. It's so fun. We've rekitted this one 2 different times, but the mini featherweight is just wonderful. So the pincushion is pretty great. It's a straightforward pincushion, excellent sewing, low volumes in all of these. Now here I've got a few other ideas. So if you're going to do the teeny tiny dress form, if you've not tried couching before, which is when you stitch yarn on top with thread, I think it would be really fun to couch the dress form, the cage. That would give your art collage a little bit more texture, make it a little bit more of a mixed media project. Now the featherweight is really fun. It actually uses kind of 3 different techniques that Laura does. So this is a traditional, it's an object, a collaging of a sewing machine, but this table here uses the same strip method that we see in the Abilene cow. And so that's a kind of a fun way to play with that concept. And then making this quilt, it's really fun. You have a big underlay piece and you get to just have as much fun with those flowers as you want to. I've had people purposely make mini quilts just so that they can collage those there. This one's also very fun to make, again, more of a mixed media, which is when you don't just add fabric, but you're adding other textures, you're adding lace, you may be gluing things, you can rhinestone collages. You can also, I've had people have like old sewing machine parts or old screws or springs, and they've attached those here to the different, their collage after it's quilted. So that's very fun, but this is a great project. I really love this. Again, we've got kits for the teeny tiny featherweight and the teeny tiny pincushion, and your leftovers would be perfect to make the dress form. We've got a video on couching as well, so if that's kind of intriguing for you, you can check that video out. We're on to group number 6, which has the rooster, the honeybee, and the hen. This one's really fun as well. A lot of people decorate with chickens. We just had a person in the shop yesterday, and her daughter just loves chickens and roosters. And so it's these really make great gifts. Not everyone you have time or maybe they don't have the size for an entire quilt if you're making someone a gift. But most people love these pieces, and when you give one of these collages quilted and put on a canvas, it's really wonderful because most people know how to hang up a picture in their home, and so sometimes it's a little intimidating if you give someone an entire quilt, because then they have to know, like, is this going on my bed, is it going on my couch, am I going to hang it on a wall? I don't know how to hang a quilt on a wall. Whereas a collage and a canvas, you just put one little nail in and you can hang up an art canvas. So it really makes a great gift because of the simplicity of that person displaying that art piece. So group number 6 is great. The rooster, we are sold out of a kit for this. I have plans to make another one, but I'm not sure when that'll be live on our website. And the teeny tiny bee, I have loved all of our customers' bees that they've made. We've had a kit for the teeny tiny bee as well. It's so fun. Now the hen here, she's perfectly acceptable. I'll point her out too because she doesn't have as much of the light low volumes as normal. She kind of has some green, some kind of bugs. It kind of gives you the idea that she is on the ground on a grassy pasture. So maybe it is a what is it called? What are they called? They're called free range chickens. So she kind of has that free range chicken hen vibe going on. But really fun collage to work with. Again, the teeny tiny bee is fun. Both the bee, the rooster, and the hen are also available in larger patterns from Laura Heine. So that's group number 6. It's so fun. Again, the bee is definitely something a lot of people know, people who love bees. We are all about, we're Beehive Quilt Shop, but we're all about supporting the pollinators that exist in the world because the world needs more pollinators. We are always going to need more bees. So it'd also be great, if you needed to do something to donate to your extension office. I think collages make great projects to make for auctions because a lot of quilters do make things to promote for auctions. Now this one is one of the first times where Laura Heine did something solely out of one of her collections she designed. So this pattern used a fabric line called Potpourri. That was a fabric collection done by Wyndham Fabrics that Laura designed. And so these are all different pieces. Now, this was the first teeny tiny pattern that I remember her seeing where she has larger than her normal sizes of her background pieces. So a lot of these other collages have smaller pieces. They're smaller squares or rectangles for the backgrounds. In group number 7, there may be 2 or 3 prints that are used in the background fabrics instead of 20, like some of her other ones. So on a couple of these, like on our little flower fly kit that we have, it's just the kit to do this. You definitely have leftovers to do more, but you could actually piece the fabrics that make the background of the flower fly instead of using patternies and putting more pieces. So if you do think you're going to piece your background like a traditional quilt instead of collaging it, then you don't need patternies when you do the collaging process. But group number 7 is a wonderful pattern. It makes it really well. Now, a lot of her collages, they have like tons of flowers that are drawn on them as well. And that doesn't mean you have to trace her flowers. It just means that you can make flowers out of nothing. But I wanted to show you, let's see here, some of those specific elements, like with the poodle and the Eiffel Tower. In her pattern here, you know, the Eiffel Tower, it's really just one big piece of black. It's not necessarily like a whole printed Eiffel Tower. So she really does have the outlines on there for the Eiffel Tower so that you can make it just the way you want. And so if you can't find the Potpourri fabric collection, she has kind of that same scale of the flowers that she designed for the collection are printed on this pattern. I don't want to show you those on the video because you should get the pattern. But anyway, it is a great thing, and she's got those details that are there for you. This, I think, is a great pattern to make if you're going to experiment with making your own self-portrait. There's a lot of stuff about art self-portraits, and if you're a little nervous about doing that but kind of want to experiment, making her is wonderful. I think she's a great little French flapper girl. I made her out of some leftover fabrics that my friend Terry let me have after she made the high heel shoe, which I think is called the Pink Pump. So that's number 7. Now we're going to kind of skip ahead because there are 2 teeny tiny collections that have dogs on them. And there's a French Bulldog, and then there's like, maybe it's a Labradoodle. That's group number 8 and group number 9. And I couldn't put my fingers on them this morning, and I just decided today was the day I was going to make this video. So, but feel free to look up group number 8 and group number 9. But again, those are the 2 that you just get 2 patterns when you get those collections. You get 2, I think it's a girl and a boy dog of both pets. So those are groups number 8 and 9. This is group number 10, very popular. This has the mini deer, which the big one is called Peppermint. We've got Santa, and then we've got this really great, super happy snowman, little marshmallow man right here. So pretty wonderful. These are great. These also have kind of some bigger hunks of fabric in this snowman. So again, if you're making your own collage, you don't have to have 40 or 50 unique pieces. You can sometimes just have like 7 different background fabrics. I still like to do things in odd numbers when I'm getting stuff, just because I think it makes it a variety, and if it works for landscaping, it's a good rule of thumb for all art. But group number 10 makes a wonderful little collection for seasonal projects. Again, it's just really fun to make. I've seen a lot of people make the mini snowman in a cup. We have kits for the mini reindeer, and this little Santa guy, he's just so easy. So there's just so much fun. We have lots of low volume fat quarter packs that we sell in the shop. So if you, again, don't have a kit, or you don't want to buy a full kit for one of these teeny tiny collages, consider buying a low volume fat quarter bundle. If you go to our website, we have a whole selection that's called custom fat quarter bundles, and that's the best place to find them. But I like how we do it, of course. But most of ours have 12 different fabrics in them. So it's a 12 fat quarter pack. They make really great for Villa Rosa projects, but it makes great for, collecting stuff for collages too. Like, it just happens to be right next to me. But this is one, we rekit this in different versions, but this is the Magical Rainbow low volume fat quarter bundle. So this could be great for so many different projects, but would be great for collaging as well. This is another one. This is group 11. This is her vases collection. One is called Bouquet, one's called Mosaic, and one's called Statement Vases. And this is also kind of like how she did her French girls out of Potpourri, but this is out of a fabric line called Happy Chance, which is a collection she did with Wyndham Fabrics. Again, these are also teeny tinies, but this, she gets real more specific with the quantities of fabric you need for these different pieces. So most of these other collections, they just say good selection of scraps for backgrounds. Now, again, my rule of thumb is usually at least 40 to have as a variety, but here for these vases, she gives you more specific dimensions for how those are made. We did not kit any of these from this project, but we did have fabric from Happy Chance. So depending on when you're watching this video, check out Happy Chance and you may see some of those prints on our collection for our website. You know, place in a little order, but it is a fun collection. Now, group number 12 it was her second nautical collection. I'm going to take it out of this plastic so it's less shiny. And none of those, I think, from number 11 really generate to larger collages. They're kind of standalone in that way. Same thing with, let's see here, this, well, I told you guys about that one. So group number 12 is the jellyfish, seahorse, and the whale. These all have larger versions. There's at least 2 different seahorses. I think there's a bigger whale, but it looks different. And then this jellyfish is just way cool. So again, we don't have kits for any of these ones for group number 12, but you could always start off with that octopus and go from there as far as collecting your fabrics. Now, personally, when I'm in my own sewing studio at home, I like to use these bags just as a catch-all. So when I'm sorting through my fabrics, most people, when they want a collage, they purchase the pattern first. And then they think like, okay, I'm going to curate this out of my stash, or this summer on vacation, I'm going to start buying the fabrics that I need for this project. And I just like to go ahead, there's plenty of room in these bags. I like to go ahead and put those little pieces inside the bag so I don't have to go chase around multiple things. I also prefer to keep my patterns whole. So again, when you buy this pattern group, you get all 3 patterns on the same page. And I like to have my blueprint that Laura Heine's put in here. I like to keep those together. I don't cut them apart to separate the jellyfish from the seahorse. I keep the whole big blueprint paper all together because it's just less to move around. Now, her newest collection that just came out is group number 13. Very fitting for the unlucky number 13, or if you are a Taylor Swift fan, 13 is her favorite number, so 13 doesn't have to be unlucky, but it totally can be creepy if you prefer that. But I'm very excited. We are going to be kitting this up this summer. Again, if you're depending on when you're watching this video, this is 2024. But this is teeny tiny group number 13, and we have the haunted house, scaredy cat, and pumpkin patch. It's really fun. This is also showing you, she has 3 new accessories that just came out. We've got magnets, the stiletto, and she has her own new collaging mat that she's made. And it is fun because it's rimmed in pink. So obviously things in pink are just more fun. So I'm very excited to kit this up here at Beehive Quilt Shop. We as a shop have been stashing fabrics to make this haunted house, so I know we're going to be making this. We have a different black cat kit. That's also one of her most popular patterns, is the original black cat. And so you could definitely buy that kit, and maybe your leftovers could even make this teeny tiny kit as well, but it's just way fun. So very excited to kit the haunted house. It's going to be a lot of fun, and that is group number 13. So that is currently the collection list of Laura Heine of what she's designed for teeny tiny pattern group collections. We're Beehive Quilt Shop. We love to make packs, starter packs, full kits, those things like that. Anytime you buy something for Laura Heine, they're all kind of sold separately. So because just the nature of how this project works, so the kits are sold separately from the patterns. All the accessories that you need are also sold separately. So that way, if you've already acquired them, you may acquire them from 3 different shops and maybe 7 different stores before you amass your whole collection. But I just love teaching collage classes. It's so fun. It's very relaxing to do collage applique. It's a lot different than quilting. I mean, I love to quilt and sew pieces, but it is just a lot of fun to use your stash in a different way. And I love working with Steam Machine too. I think it's really fun. It's very forgiving. It ages really well. I've had collages where my collage stash itself is it's getting close to 6 years old, but they're at least 5 years old, and those pieces are still tacky, and it still works out really well. So I'm going to do a speed run through of these patterns just so you can see those again, where they line up. in the group. I just put those a little bit out of order. Here we go. So this is the speed date version of the teeny tiny group. So we have group number 1 has the dress, the fish, and the elephant. Group number 2 has the flamingo, the truck, and the cow. Group number, oh no, I just misspoke. There we go. It has the fox, the cow, and the truck. Group number 3 has the flamingo, the bear, and the camper. And this one, group number 4, has the octopus, the sea turtle, and the mermaid in a bottle. Group number 5 has the pincushion, dress form, and the sewing machine. Group number 6 has the hen, the rooster, and the bee. Group number 7 has the butterfly, poodle, and portrait. Group number 8 and 9 I don't have with me right now, but they are, there's a French bulldog and then there's another dog. So group numbers 8 and 9 are both dog related. Group number 10 here is Santa, snowman, and the deer. Group number 11 are the 3 different flowers. Group number 12 is the jellyfish, the whale, and the seahorse. And then group number 13 is the haunted house, scaredy cat, and the pumpkin patch. So I hope you have enjoyed watching this tutorial of the different collages. We'll give you a different speed date of what our kits look like, but that way if you're researching which teeny tiny group that you should do, you know which one. So I'm going to try to close this video over here.